Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you. Thank you once again for joining me for another Spirit review video. And tomorrow is National Bourbon Day, so in honor of that, I decided I wanted to review for you the brand new release from the Diageo Orphan Barrel project, the Rhetoric 21-year-old. Now this Rhetoric 21 is the exact same juice that made the original Rhetoric 20, just with an additional year of aging. Okay, now that's what they're going to be doing for about the next 5 years. They're going to be releasing a Rhetoric 22, 23, 24, and 25. So in 2019, get ready for the Rhetoric 25. And we're going to see how every year progresses. And this is the first two releases, so I wanted to review them for you. Now, as far as what went into making these, the distillate, it was actually a high corn, low rye mash bill. 86% corn, 6% rye, 8% barley. So we're not talking high rye where you're going to get a lot of floral, eucalyptus, mint. Not that. You're going to get more of that rich corn element. You're going to get a lot of brown sugar, caramel, sweetness on the palate. As far as when it was distilled, this was distilled at the same time Barterhouse was distilled, back in 1993 at the New Bernheim Distillery. The difference being that Barterhouse was a 15-year-old bourbon that contained nothing but New Bernheim whiskey. The word is on the Rhetoric, it could contain a little bit of Old Bernheim juice in there as well. But we do know, like I said, it was aged for about 2 or so years there on the premises of Bernheim, and then was transferred to Stetzel-Weller, probably at the same time Barterhouse was, around 95. So we're talking about 18 years of maturation at Stetzel-Weller's warehouses, and about 19 years at the rickhouses for the 21-year-old. So we're going to see nose and taste and what we think about which one's the better buy. And we can probably look forward to next year, probably comparing this one to the next one. And I'm pretty sure along the way somewhere we're going to hit the point where it's like, it's dead. So we're going to see. Alright, since I just opened this 21-year-old and just got the wrappers over here, we're going to let that one breathe a little bit. And we're going to review the 20-year-old once again. Now on the nose on the Rhetoric 20, yep. It's very sweet, caramel, brown sugar. Orange zest, orange oils on top of, wow, it's a combination of like cherries and raspberries and almost like a red rope licorice, that type thing with a little vanilla in there. Cinnamon and clove. And a little bit of a leather and chocolate. Really, really nice on the nose. As we can see by the color of these, wow. That 1 year maturation difference has definitely put an influence on it. Again, this is just 1 year. When we're talking 2019, when we get that 25-year-old Rhetoric, that thing may be dark. But again, that was the nose on the 20. Let's see how the 21 has changed. Wow. Let me see. Was that in there? It was in here, but very, very light. And what I was picking up right away on this one was the brown sugar is richer. The caramel is richer. Everything about this one is richer than the original. But I was also picking up a doughiness aspect to this one. And when I say doughiness, that just simply means, think fresh baked yeast rolls, and maybe they're a little undercooked where you crack them open and you kind of get that smell right there in the middle. Well, imagine that on this one with a little bit of cornmeal in that bread dough. So that corn is in there. The orange peel essence, the orange oils that I was finding on the Rhetoric 20 are still in here, but maybe they're leaning a little more onto the licorice side of things. So they're blending a little more in with the bourbon. And that brown sugar and that caramel. Clove and cinnamon still in here. A little bit of a roasted nut quality underneath. The oak. It's the good thing about being able to go back and forth. We can compare real quick. Wow. The oak. In here, again, it's in there, but everything's lighter. In here, it's fuller. You're getting the little bit sweeter profile on the nose. chocolate as well. Very, very nice. Okay, so let's see if the nose follows palate, right? On to the Rhetoric 20. Medium viscosity. As it enters, caramel, brown sugar, but everything's not too big. Cinnamon and cloves start taking off. That's actually what gets big, is the actual cinnamon and the spice swell on that mid palate. It kind of rolls over and leads you right into the oak on the back end. The thing that I noticed about the 20, the grippingness of the oak. The oak has some tannins to it, and they're grabbing the tongue on that back end. They're not drying it out tremendously, but they're noticeable. So when you think of, over oaked or wooded bourbons, sometimes tannins can be an issue like that. And usually what happens when they get too big, they just start drying everything out, and you take it and you're like, need a sip of water. Overall, that little bit of doughiness is in here as well with that cornmeal. Caramel, the brown sugar is a little more than the caramel. The red fruits are in there. The berries are in there, the cherries, the raspberries. A little tobacco, but leaning a little more on the leather, on the finish. Barrel char on this finish. Maybe that was the tobacco I was picking up, because I was kind of thinking it was tobacco-ish, but it's just the char of that barrel that's kind of lending a little smoke to it. Okay, not bad. Again, $85. It wasn't a bad buy. It's still out there if you look for it. But let's see if the 21's better, because at $90 to $100, it may be a better buy. Let's see. Yep. It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. Viscosity-wise, it's a little more oily than this one. That one was medium, maybe a touch under medium as far as feeling oily in the mouth. This one's medium, maybe a touch over. That cinnamon and clove swell is still there on the mid palate, but luckily the brown sugars and caramel are everything's bolstered up to where even though it swells, it doesn't feel like it's taking off and then ramping up with just it by itself. The brown sugar and caramel are already so big so that when it kind of comes up, it just feels more integrated, let's say, into the bourbon aspect. The orange liqueur is in there as well, but it's not heavy. It's very, very light. I still think it's a little more liquorish than just orange oils. It is chocolatey. There is some chocolates on the background with the roasted nuts underneath. Barrel char is still here, but it's more, again, it's just that additional year has made everything blend a little better. Berries, as far as the raspberries, that almost like a red licorice thing I was getting is in here. But everybody's a little more balanced. Everybody's more refined. On the finish, yep, the orange is kind of, essence is lingering throughout with the sweetness of the brown sugar lingering throughout. The oak is feeling sweet and still lingering. Yep, the nuttiness, that roasted nuts element, or maybe a little bit of that barrel char is still in there. But again, everybody's a little more balanced here. Overall, to me, this is the better bourbon. It's not quite lost profit quality yet, but we're definitely on the right track. So I'm very interested to see what the 22 holds and what the 23 holds. I think they're almost there. Maybe the 22 might be the best, but I think after that we might start getting a little more unbalanced and leaning too heavily on the oak. But we're going to see. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great National Bourbon Day. Thank you for watching my videos. Everybody have a great evening, and cheers.